Si Coach Yeng Guiao, one of the most vocal coaches in the Philippines, will talk about yung kanyang koponan, the ongoing PBA Finals, the PBA Philippine Cup, and of course, ang future ng NLEX Road Warriors. Talking about the PBA, doon po sa mga hindi pa nakakaalam, kagabi po, nanalo na ang Magnolia Pambansang Manok Hotshots. Tinalo po nila ang Meralco Bolts 93-85 para pumasok na po ng PBA Philippine Cup Finals. Congratulations sa buong Magnolia Hotshots team, si Coach Chito Victolero na muling babalik sa finals. Pang-apat na yata ni Coach Chito to, no? So again, walang humpay. They have been very, very consistent at talaga namang kagabi pinakita ng Magnolia kung bakit sila ang isa sa mga top teams pagdating sa Philippine Cup. At mamaya po pag-uusapan natin yan kasama of course ng ating mga guests. Kaya tutok lang mga kapatid, walang bibitaw. Ang dami nating pag-usapan and of course, dapat kasama kayo sa huntahan. Pero bago yan, himayin muna natin ang ating mga kaganapan sa mundo ng palakasan sa ating this week's Sports Weekly Highlights. Slugfest sa una nating recap. Bakbakan kung bakbakan ang nangyari sa tapatang Tyson Fury at Deontay Wilder. Tagumpay na dinipensahan ni Fury ang kanyang WBC heavyweight belt sa likod ng 11th round knockout. Bago yan, 2 beses niya ring pinapunta ng canvas si Wilder. Nag-improve sa 31 wins at 1 draw ang record ni Fury, the Gypsy King. 2-0 rin siya sa trilogy nila ng Bronze Bomber. Sa NBA naman, magbubukas na ang 2021-2022 season ng liga ngayong darating na linggo. Pero hindi makakalaro si Kyrie Irving. Hanggang ngayon kasi hindi pa rin nagpapabakuna, ano ba naman to, ng COVID-19 vaccine ang superstar guard ng Brooklyn. May patakaran sa New York City na bawal mag-practice o maglaro sa stadium ang hindi bakunadong manlalaro. Aba, yun naman pala, ba't di sumunod? Dahil dito, nagdesisyon na rin ang Brooklyn Nets na ibangko muna si Irving Aray. Sa balitang volleyball, nagtapos sa 9th place ang Ribisco sa 2021 Asian Men's Club Volleyball Championship. Tinrabaho ng Philippine squad ang 5-setter win kontra CEB Sports Club ng Sri Lanka para tapusin ang tournament sa panalo 25-14, 22-25, 25-18, 21-25 at 15-11. Bumida para sa Pinas si How Umandal na may 28 points kabilang ang 20 attacks, 5 blocks at 3 aces. Balik basketball tayo. Nausog sa Syempre ang inaabangang debut ni Kai Sotto sa National Basketball League ng Australia. Inilipat kasi ng liga ang opening para mapagtuunan ng pansin ang target na courtside fans. Aba, marami na yan, ha? December 3, makakatapat ng Adelaide 36ers ni Kai ang Tasmania Jack Jumpers. Habang hinihintay natin si Soto sa Australia, tuloy-tuloy naman ang suporta sa mga Pinoy na mga naglalaro sa Japan. At may isa na namang madadagdag, ang isa pang young center na si Matthew Aquino. Ayan po siya, ha? Pumirma ng kontrata si Aquino sa Shinshu Brave Warriors. At hindi katulad ng ibang imports o Pinoy imports, maglalaro siya doon bilang local player dahil may Japanese nationality ang anak ng PBA great na si Marlu Aquino. Sa October 23 ang nakikitang debut ni Matt kontra Osaka Evesa. Dapat naman pong abangan ang bakbakan ngayong weekend ni na Dwight Ramos at Ray Parks sa Japan B-League. FIBA World Update o World Cup update naman tayo. Napostpone ang November window ng FIBA World Cup Asian Qualifiers. Inusog sa 2022 ang mga laro dahil sa travel restrictions sa ilang East at Southeast Asian countries. Itinalaga namang host ng February window ang Pilipinas para sa Group A. 8 laro po yan sa pagitan ng 4 na teams. At sa PBA, umabot ng Game 7 ang bakbakang TNT at San Miguel sa Philippine Cup semifinals. Kasunod yan ng commanding Game 6 win ng Beermen para ma-extend ang serye 103-90. Hinihintay na lang ngayon ng Magnolia Hotshots, kagaya po na nabanggit natin, ang mananalong team matapos silang talunin sa Game 6 ang Meralco Bolts kagabi, 93-85. At yan po ang ating sports weekly highlights. Naku, ang ganda talaga ng magiging Game 7 na yan, mga kapatid. Alam niyo po ba na napaka makulay, napaka yabong ng kasaysayan ng dalawang koponan ng Talk and Text at ng San Miguel Beermen. Sila po ang of course flagship teams ng dalawang malaking conglomerates at sila muli ang magtatapat sa Game 7. Kung saan ang ating pagkakaalam, ito pong Talk and Text ay may record na 3-7 pagdating sa Game 7. At ang San Miguel naman ay 9-7 sa kanilang kasaysayan. So balit, si Coach Leo Austria ay hindi pa po natatalo pagdating sa Game 7. Samantalang si Coach Chot Reyes naman ay may record na 2-3. Although matagal-tagal nang hindi nagko-coach. In fact, kakabalik lamang ni Coach Chot at kaya naman ito'y malaki muling pagsubok. So, ito po ang ating pupulsuhan ngayong araw na ito. Simpleng-simple lang ang ating pong pupulsuhan para sa inyo mga kapatid. Ang tanong, ano pong team ang mananalo sa Game 7 at makakatapat ng Magnolia Hotshots sa finals? Pili na kayo Talk and Text, Tropang Giga o San Miguel Beermen. Yan po ang ating pupulsuhan Game 7, sino ang mananalo? TNT o SMB? Mag-text lamang sa aming hotline 0908-208-0629 o di kaya mag-comment sa Facebook page ng Power and Play o sa Facebook ng 1PH at Radyo 5. Game 7, sabi nga nila, the two best words in sports. Game 7, bukas po yan San Miguel kontra Talk and Text. Alright, at this point, pinag-uusapan natin ang mga Game 7. Ito ang ating magiging background sa ating fast take. Kasi itong ating dalawang bisitang ito ay sanay pagdating sa mga ganyang klaseng do or die games. Veterano na PBA, veteranong sports journalist, makakasama natin ngayon sa fast take. Hatid sa inyo ng Cherry Tigo, it's fun to drive. At ngayong umaga pong ito, maswerte tayo na ating pong makakasamang fast takers. Walang iba kundi veteran sports journalist Abac Cordero ng Philippine Star at Waylon Galvez ng Manila Bulletin. Magandang umaga. Sir, Abac, Waylon, good to see you. Matagal-tagal na hindi nagkikwentuhan. Maraming salamat sa pagsama sa amin dito.
Yes, thank you, Kom. Matagal-tagal, medyo mga 10 years yata ako hindi nag-guest dito.
Oo nga kaya nga ako miss ko na ikaw. Pero, Waylon, kamusta ka naman? Mukhang hindi pa tayo, Waylon, naririnig mo ba kami? Mukhang hindi pa tayo nakikita ni Waylon, ulitin natin. But anyway, ikaw, 10 taon ka nang hindi nag-guest dito, bagamat 4 na taon pa lang itong show na to. Ang problema ko, ako hindi pa ako nag-guest sa Chase Down
Next week.
alam mo dito po sa Signal at sa 1PH, kami po ay isang malaking pamilya. Talagang kung kayo po ay mahilig sa usapang sports, yan po ang isa pa niyong tutukan, yung Chase Down. Napakaganda po ng kakwentuhan dyan. Kasama, of course, si Salty Perez, sino ba yung kasama
Jerry
natin dyan? Si Jerry Ramos, of course, and of course,
Risa Diaz.
Si Waylon. Oo, si Risa Diaz. Alright, well, inihintay pa natin si Waylon na pumasok ulit. Pero Abac, Game 7. Game 7, naku pambihira ang nangyari dito. Ano muna ang thoughts mo Alam mo, the last 4 games, or rather, last 3 games, 3, 4, 5, 6, actually, 4 na game, tambakan ali eh. Tambakan, no? The winning average has been an average of about 19 points between these two teams. Pero, walang makakasabing nagdo-dominate. Ano ang thoughts mo dito sa seryeng ito, Abak?
Well, we're heading to Game 7. What we always want pagdating sa in any series, if it's a best of 5, we want a Game 5. If it's a Game 7, we want a Game 7. If it's in the UAP, if it's a best of 3, we want a Game 3. Because it's the type of game that will really bring out the best from either team, Kasi itong tinatawag na do or die. Talagang do or die because it's a Game 7, di ba? So,
but in this series, Abak, anong nakikita mong, bakit ganito? Bakit parang ang laki ng pendulum swing, no? Minsan, ang galing-galing ng token decks, mamaya-maya, itong San Miguel, kung akala mo, wala na, talo na, tatamba ka naman yung kalaban. Bakit ganun kalaki yung difference at ng pendulum swing nitong seryeng ito?
well, nakakapagtaka din because but I put it in the job of the coaches, na pagka natatalo sila sa game, talagang parang pinag-aaralan nila how to adjust. And kaya pagdating sa next game, sila naman bigla yung umaarangkada. And eto naman kalaban, hindi naman makakatch up. Palagi, tinambakan ng token text, tinambakan ng San Miguel, it has only happened once yata na yung lamang dumikit pa pagdating sa dulo, no? Very convincing victory. Sana bigyan naman nila tayo ng Game 7 to remember,
Yun ang ating pinananalangin. Ayan, Wilon, naririnig mo pa na ba kami? Ayun.
Yes, Kom. Good morning po.
Good morning. Sabi ko nga kay Abak sabi ko, nami-miss ko na kayo. Ang tagal-tagal nyo nang hindi nag-guest dito. Alam ko na kayo, mga night birds kayo. Ewan ko kayong bang pandemic, night owls pa rin kayo, Wilon?
Nakatapos lang, Kom. Umi-recover pa sa tulog.
Ganun ba? Hindi ka pa rin natutulog, ha? Well, sino naman ang makakatulog sa ganda ng mga nangyayari sa PBA? Of course, Game 7, pinag-usapan namin ni Abak. Wilon, again, ulitin ko lang yung isang tanong na natanong ko kay Abak. Bakit sa tingin mo laki ng pendulum swing dito sa seryeng ito? Kasi very, very good yung isang team. Biglang all of a sudden, laga pa. Susunod naman yung kabila. Ang ganda-ganda ng laro, susunod na game, laga pa. Bakit ganon, Wilon?
I agree dun sa sinabi ni Habak na narinig ko kanina. Nakakagulat din. Pero siguro aside from adjustment ng mga head coaches, Coach Chot for TNT, Coach Leo for SMB, I think yung gusto magpakamatay na ng mga players Kita naman natin, may mga injuries, may mga naputukan ng kilay. Pero I think that's the bottom line in this series, yung willingness, yung desire ng players na makabawi. And hindi lang basta makabawi, hindi lang basta, sige, sa dulo na natin kunin yung panalo. Talagang gusto nila, talagang pukpukin yung kalaban, tambakan yung kalaban, and score a convincing victory, Kom.
Oo nga Alam mo, talking about that, how intense this series has been, no? Obviously, ang naging malaking bagay sa Philippine Cup has been the health of mga players, no? Nakita natin yung health and safety protocols ng PBA at yun ay nakaapekto sa lahat naman ng koponan, no? It was really a question of who gets healthy at the right time dito sa seryeng ito. Now, ang balita magpapasok na naman daw ng imports sa second conference. I want to get your thoughts on this before we go to the fast take issues, Abak. Another additional factor ito. Kasi alam naman natin sa PBA, hindi naman isang import lang ang tumatagal. Maswerte ka na kung may Brownlee ka na buong conference, subok at matag. Pero pag yung mga bagong pangalan at biglang hindi pala magaling, papalitan, may mga quarantine tayo, may mga health and safety issues. What are your thoughts on this, Abak? Sa tingin mo ba ito ay makakabuti?
well, makakabuti in terms of viewership, Alam mo, baka naman magsawa yung tao sa All Filipino kung every season, 2 o 3 All Filipino tayo. But bringing in imports at this time is easier said than done, Madami pang restrictions, madami pang protocols, but if the PBA is really bent on doing this I don't think they can have serious problems. In fact, word is that imports are dying to return to the Philippines. Ano? Baliktad hindi sila hesitant na naku, ayaw muna namin pumunta sa Pilipinas, medyo mataas ang ano diyan. In fact, the word is that gusto ng mga imports bumalik sa PBA and gusto nilang maglaro dito. Siguro, well, for economic reasons, baka wala din sila masyadong pinagkakakitaan or no other place to go but the PBA or the Philippines. So mukhang magagawa naman. Konti lang adjustment.
Oo, sana nga. Talagang napakahalaga ng variety sa PBA. But of course, I just hope na maayos lang. Bagamat naman ngayon medyo nagsistabilize ang ating sitwasyon at lahat ng dumarating ay vaccinated. Just one final thought before we go to the fast take issues. Ang napag-iwanan of course is college sports. Ano ba ang sa tingin mo makakapagtulak para alam mo, namimiss na natin ang mga UAAP games, ang NCAA games at lahat ng collegiate sports, volleyball, basketball, track and field. What do you think is going to be the key para magsimula ang college sports sa ating bansa?
I think yung kumbaga, last week actually nakausap ng the Chase Down si Games and Amusements Board Chairman Baham Mitra. And he told us na nagkakaroon naman ng usapan na hindi lang kasi ang GAB is professional yan But then, merong talks with the amateur leagues like the NCAA, the UAP, na kumbaga i-adapt yung sistema ng pro sports. Ang importante kasi diyan yung health protocols na i-implement for college players. So kung ang UAP, ang NCAA gusto lang makabalik, dapat solid yung kanilang health protocols, hindi yung mababalitaan natin na may infection na ganito, then baka dumami yung kaso. Dun medyo hesitant, I think, syempre, lahat naman tayo, yung mga officials ng mga said leagues na ito. So, dun lahat mag-uumpisa with the protocols, health protocols. Kung matibay yung protocol sila, well, good, makaka-umpisa, tingin ko.
Well, alam mo, marami nang pinag-uusapan tungkol sa staging a bubble, even for college sports, and it will be very expensive, but again, if that will, kung yun ang kakailanganin to begin or to restart college sports, siguro yan ay magiging ambag na rin ng mga kolehiyo at universidad sa larangan ng sports landscape. Alright, ready na tayo. Just konting, alam mo, namiss ko kayo, kaya sa huntahan, gusto ko matagal ang huntahan pero alam ko very busy kayo, kaya unahan na natin sa ating fast take. Dito sa fast take, Kuelon, alam naman ninyo, walang tama, walang mali, bato-bato sa langit, tamaan, huwag magagalit, and of course, opinion nyo to. Laging mahalaga dahil kayo ang nasa likod ng mga balita. Alright, unang issue, alam natin sa NBA na si Kyrie Irving, yun ang napakalaking balita, ay hindi pinayagang maglaro dahil sa kanyang stand. Hindi naman niya sinasabing anti-vax siya, pro-vax siya. Ang sinasabi lang niya, kung ano yung maganda sa akin, gagawin ko. And tuloy, hindi siya maglalaro, malaking dagok sa Brooklyn Nets, malaking tama sa kanyang kinikita. Ang tanong sa ating unang issue, sa inyong pananaw, dapat bang fully vaccinated ang isang atleta bago ito makapaglaro sa isang liga? Abak, I'll begin with you. You have 1 minute. Go.
No. Why? Because it's the person's right. In a democracy, we call it the freedom of choice, Parang right to vote yan Pwede mo iboto si Pacquiao, pwede mo iboto si Robredo, si Isko, or si Ping. Or don't vote at all. It's your choice. Ganyan din naman sa vaccine. Pwede ka mag-Moderna, pwede ka mag-Pfizer, pwede ka mag-Sinovac, mag-Sputnik, or don't choose any at all. But if you're an athlete, professional especially, be ready to face the consequences. Yan naman nasabi ni Kyrie Irving. I'm ready to face the consequences. Even if I'm demonized, sabi niya, or judged, be ready to face it. Baka may pay cut. Di ba? Ganyan din mangyayari sa kanya. Or second, you might get the virus faster or easier and be severe or dying. Now, if you can handle all this and test negative day in and day out and observe all health and safety protocols, then you can play without the vaccine para sa akin.
Alright. Well, yung consequences na yon, napakalaki. Alam naman natin ang mga kinikita nito mga player na to at kung mag-penalize ang NBA, Kyrie Irving stands to lose daw, about 200 million kasama na yung contract extension. Baka hindi siya mabigyan ng max contract extension. Alright, same question, Welon. Sa iyong pananaw, dapat na bang dapat lang ba na fully vaccinated ang makapaglaro sa mga liga? You have 1 minute. Away. Go!
Sa akin, Kom, yes. Dapat fully vaccinated. Why? Katulad ng minention mo, lalong-lalo na, Kom, si Kyrie Irving. Being a professional player, dapat kumbaga kung ano yung sinasabi ng liga, dapat sumunod ka. Ang problema lang kasi sa NBA, I think, meron silang NBA Players Association na dapat mag-agree muna si NBA Commissioner's Office and the NBA Union kung ano yung dapat when it comes to this issue, yung protocol, yung pag-vaccine na yan. Since walang agreement dito sa NBA Association na to, hindi tuloy ma-implement ni NBA Commissioner's Office na dapat lahat vaccinated. Kaya ito si Kyrie Irving, I think doon siya hindi siya mapilit ng team niya na Brooklyn Nets. So ayaw niyang magpa-vaccine and agree ako kay Abok doon sa idea na ano niya yun rights niya yun So walang magawa yung Brooklyn Nets.
Alright. Well, magandang magiging tutukan yung development na yun. Ako, personally, I think kailangan niya magpa-vaccine. At ito ay akin hindi lang dahil sa paglalaro. Pero sa tingin ko, kasama na rin yan sa kanyang responsibilidad bilang kabahagi ng lipunan. Alam mo, kahit na siya isang star player, siya ay kinikilala sa buong mundo. At alam naman natin na yung vaccination ay hindi lamang simbolo ng pagiging healthy or trying to be healthy, pero simbolo din ng order para tayo ay merong konting kaayusan. Ngayon, ayaw niyang magpa-vaccine, tama ka, Abak, consequence yan. Pero kung gusto mo maglaro, sabi nga ni Waylon, magba-vaccine ka. Alright, let's go to our second fast take issue of the morning. Ito maganda to. Pinag-uusapan natin ay mga atletang superstar. One of the biggest superstars na gumawa ng balita recently ay si Senator Robert Jaworski, kung saan siya ay binigyan ng PhilPost, yung ating postal corporation ng Pilipinas, ng isang stamp. Yung pong nilalagay sa mga sulat. Siya po ay pinarangalan ng isang stamp ng PhilPost. And of course, alam natin ang nangyayari kay Senator Jaworski and we wish him all the best. So ang tanong, maliban kay Big J, sino pang atleta ang deserving na magkaroon ng sariling stamp bilang pag-alala and of course pagpaparangal sa kanyang mga nagawa? I'll begin with you, Waylon. 1 minute, go!
Tayo, Kom, sa Pilipinas, hindi tayo nagkukulang ng ng sports heroes. Madami tayo diyan. Ang napansin ko lang dun sa listahan na meron tayo sa stamp, mga Olympians. Pero sabi ko nga, hindi tayo nagkukulang. Andyan si Efren Bata Reyes, who is a world champion, 9-ball, 8-ball. We also have Paeng Nepomuceno, a 6-time world champion in bowling. And we also have Grandmaster Eugene Dore, the first Asian Grandmaster. So, siguro it's about time, although hindi na sila medyo active sa sports ngayon, maliban na lang siyempre kay Bata Reyes, na paminsan-minsan nababalitaan natin, naglalaro pa rin. Siguro it's about time for the country to really honor them by, yung stamp na to, katulad ng kay Senator Jaworski, para naman na ma-recognize talaga natin din sila.
Yan ang kumbaga, it stamps their legacy mismo sa mga stamp. Abak, same issue. Maliban kay Senator Jaworski, kay Big J, sino pa mga atleta ang dapat bigyan ng sarili nilang stamp bilang pag-aalala sa kanila? 1 minute, Abak. Go!
Madami, Kom. More than the fingers in my hands. Sa basketball pa lang or boxing or other sports. We have Kaloy Saga, we have Ambrosio Padilla, we have Freddy Webb. an Olympian who also became a senator, di ba? We have Lydia De Vega, Paine Pumoseno, of course, Eugene Torre, Ben Arda, sila Felicito Muampon, sila Flash Elorde, sila Pancho Villa, sila Joe Sumalde, no? Pwede na nating hindi isama si Senator Pacquiao because he's been honored more than a couple of times by Philpost. And I have those stamps in my small collection. Lately, si Hidilyn Diaz and the rest of the Tokyo Olympics. But I must say that one Filipino athlete who rightfully deserves the honor of being stamped, sabi mo nga, is Efren Bata Reyes, who to me is the most amiable and the most loved Filipino athlete then and now. Efren Bata Reyes has my stamp of approval.
Boto ako dyan. Boto rin ako dyan. Efren Bata Reyes, of course, isa sa pinaka down-to-earth, napaka-galing, of course, and well-known all over the world. Dapat talagang bigyan ng staff. Ako, miski hindi na ako bigyan ng staff, basta libre lang yung pagpapadala ko, ayos na rin sa akin. Alright, let's go to our third and final take of the morning. Punta tayo sa NBA. Kasi malapit na magsimula ang NBA. Kayo, kasama ko kayo sa mga sa Fantasy League. Baka talunin mo na naman ako dyan at saka Waylon. Ang hirap niyong kalaban, ang gagaling ninyo Kaya gusto ko malaman ang inyong pag-iisip tungkol sa NBA. Papasok na ang 75th season ng NBA. So, as we begin the new season, sinong player, anong bagay o anong team ang inyong pinaka-aabangan? Habak, I'll begin with you. 1 minute, go!
Well, napag-usapan na natin. But to me, it's Kyrie Irving. What is next move, ano? Anong kasunod itong teleserye na to? Will he get the vaccine and play home games and away games for the Brooklyn Nets? Or will the Nets opt to sit him out? Yun ang sabi nila. Even if he's allowed to play road games. Or will they trade him? Ben Simmons ba ng Philadelphia? Lalakarin ba nila yung trade na yan? Binabantayan ko yan, Kom, yung Kyrie Irving episode na yan. And second, si LeBron James. What are his chances of leading the Lakers back to the finals? Now that he's getting older, 36, 37 na in December, 30 yata. And in his 19th season, how can he stay healthy? Yan ang iniisip ko kay LeBron. And of course, ano ang kalalabasan ng team up niya with Russell Westbrook, Carmelo Anthony, Anthony Davis, Dwight Howard. In physics, it could be the winning formula or something that might explode right in the face of Coach Frank Vogel. Another thing, lastly, can the Bucks win again? I think so.
Ang daming narratives, ang daming kwentuhan. Yan ang kasarapan din sa maraming kupunan. Well, on same issue. Sa 75th season ng NBA, sinong player, anong team, o anong bagay ang pinaka-aabangan mo? Go, you have 1 minute.
Ako, Kom, syempre, kilala mo naman kung sinong paborito ko. Pero syempre, bukod sa Boston Celtics, na talagang lagi ko naman sinusundan yan, and gusto ko makarating sila ng finals and win the title. Interesting to follow din, bukod sa mga sinabi ni Abak, no, yung mga players and teams na yan, si Giannis Antetokounmpo. Kaya ba niya mag-repeat sa champion, sa finals MVP, di ba? So, Milwaukee Bucks. Pangalawa, bukod doon, syempre, nandyan nga yung mga sinasabi na paborito. Kaya bang mag-champion ng Brooklyn Nets with or without Kyrie? And then the Lakers with their addition of Russell Westbrook, can they return to the final? So, yun yung mga interesting topic sa akin. And reigning MVP, Nikola Jokic, MVP last season. Hindi na ako interested kung makakapanalo ba siya uli ng MVP, kung kaya ba niyang dalhin sa finals and win a title for his Denver Nuggets team.
Well, very well said. Ang dami nun. And of course, lahat yun, tinututukan ko rin. Of course, I'd like to see also kung magbabalik ang Golden State Warriors dahil mukhang mabubuo na uli yung kanilang koponan. And of course, yung aking paborito naman, yung Philadelphia 76ers, hindi ko malaman kung saan pupulutin sa kangkungan. Pero maganda yan. But most of all, alam mo, hinihintay ko rin, ang inaabangan ko sa NBA, is yung kanilang innovations, yung kanilang bagong officiating rules, yung interpretation nila, hindi pwedeng tumawag ang referee ng foul. Even yung hindi na pwede ngayon, yung timeout sa last 2 minutes, yung review rather, hindi na automatic. Very well, ang kanila, magagandang innovations nila. A lot of things na pwede tayong matuto. Gentlemen, again, as usual, talagang miss na miss ko kayo, but it was very, very informative and it was so much fun. Maraming salamat sa oras na binigay niyo sa amin, Abak and Waylon.
Thank you.
Thank you, Kom.
Thank you,
Thank you.
Thank you, Kom. Thank you, Kom.
Kahit madaling
Salamat,
araw.
salamat. Ulitin natin yan, ha? Mga kaibigan, Abak Cordero ng Philippine Star at si Waylon Galvez ng Manila Bulletin. Ako talaga naman pag pinag-uusapan, napakaganda ng mga topic na yan. Alright, bago tayo mag-break, pasok muna natin. Syempre, dito po sa aming programa, lagi namin tinututukan ang mga nagba-viral na video sa mundo ng palakasan. Ito po ang aming Stop and Pop. Tawagin natin ang video na ito na Fight Hard, Party Harder. Ito po yung nangyari doon po sa laban, after ng laban pala, ni Tyson the Gypsy King Fury. Pagkatapos siyang manalo ng kanyang 11th round knockout kesa kay Deontay Wilder. Aba, may energy pa pala yung mama na mag-party. Diretso sa nightclub ang heavyweight champ para makipagsaya kasama ng kanyang fans. Inabot sila hanggang alas 3 ng madaling araw. At yan po ang World Heavyweight Champion, Tyson the Gypsy King Fury, the king of the nightlife. Yan po ang ating stop and pop moment dito sa Power and Play. We will take a quick break. Sa amin pong pagbabalik, ang ating mga kasama, walang iba kundi ang head coach ng NLEX Road Warriors, Coach Yeng Guiao, sa Power and Play, hatid sa inyo ng Cherry Loom at ng Cherry Tigo.
Alex, are you ready to have some fun on your first driving lesson?
Ang Power and Play ay hatid sa inyo ng Cherry Loom, ang yerong may aluminum. Sa ganitong pabago-bago ang panahon mga kapatid, sobrang init tapos biglang uulan. Kailangan natin ng matibay at protektadong bubong. Dapat ang bubong ay yerong may aluminum. Kapag may aluminum, tsak na pangmatagalan. At isa lang ang alam kong dekalidad na yerong may aluminum. Yan ang Cherry Loom. Tibay protektado sa pangmatagalang yero. Cherry Loom, ang yerong may aluminum. Cherry Tigo, paano mo masasabing nakaka-enjoy i-drive ang sasakyan mo? Isa lang ang sagot ko dyan. Syempre kapag ang minamaneho mo ay Cherry Tigo 7 Pro. Luxurious ang exteriors at comfort-filled naman ang interiors. Intelligent dahil meron itong automatic tailgate opening, engine start, at climate control na pwede mong makontrol using its smart key. Perfect pa pang long drive dahil meron itong large sunroof, HD touchscreen, wireless mobile charging, at 360 around view monitoring. Pro na pro ka with the Tigo 7 Pro dahil available na rin ito for as low as 88,000 pesos all in. Hanggang 120,000 din ang cash discounts exclusive ngayong September. Open pa for free test drives kaya ischedule mo na ang appointment sa Cherry Dealer today. Cherry Tigo 7 Pro, fun to drive. Joyride, ang bago ninyong kasundo. Dahil ayaw naming nahihirapan ka, book Joyride Motorcycle Taxi now and experience hassle-free commute. And it's never too early to start getting ready for the holidays. Now's the right time to plan the perfect gifts for your loved ones to avoid the holiday rush. For all your delivery needs this coming holiday season, Joyride Super App is here. Now available in Metro Manila, Metro Cebu, Laguna, Baguio, and soon in Bulacan. So download the latest Joyride Super App now. Elms Resto Bar Group, home of fried eating, with branches at Elms Tapas and Winery, located in Calle Bistro, Commonwealth, Quezon City, and Elms Grill and Bar in Poblacion, Makati. You may call 0977-157-0499 or 0966-854-4048 or visit their FB and IG pages at Elms Resto Bar Group for reservations and inquiries. Skin, your face and body anti-aging center, with branches at Wilson Street, San Juan City, and Alabang Town Center, Muntinlupa City. For inquiries, please call 0917-890-1640 or 0977-809-8886. Asea Subic Beach Resort. Experience the getaway that you deserve and dive into limitless happenings, rejuvenating experiences, and gastronomic adventures. Asea Subic Beach Resort. Power and Play would also like to thank the Umami Bowl, your go-to for Japanese rice bowls, and Lick Hobby, weave by weave, hand in hand. Check out their IG pages. Alright, maraming po salamat sa lahat ng tagapagtaguyod ng Power and Play. Oh, by the way, I'd like to say belated happy birthday sa ating kaibigan, si the Dean Quinito Henson. Happy birthday, pare. And of course, aking isa pang kumpare. Belated happy birthday kay Commissioner Willie Marshall. Nako, erap. I hope you are feeling better at sana patuloy kang magpalakas. Commissioner Erap Willie Marshall. Alright, pinag-uusapan po ang PBA. Makakasama natin ngayon one of the most successful and of course, one of the best coaches in the PBA. Very vocal, of course, and outspoken Coach Yeng Guiao ng NLEX Road Warriors. Magandang maga, Coach Yeng.
Ayan. Okay na. Kom Noli, mo birthday pala ni Kom Willie at saka ni Quinito Henson. Babatiin ko na rin sila. Hindi pa sila nababate. So, happy birthday sa kanilang dalawa.
Oo, magkadikit yan eh. Kaya magkasunod ang birthday niya. Kaya alam mo naman yan ng mga matitibay pagdating sa PBA. Coach, before tayo mag-usapan ng NLEX at saka ng PBA, kakamustahin ko muna ikaw. Makikiuso ako eh. Alam mo naman ngayon, panahon ng politika eh. Kaya makikiuso lang ako. ikaw ba, alam ko hindi ka nag-file. Pero
Yes.
wala ka na bang plano na alam natin na ikaw ay naging vice governor, naging congressman ng Pampanga. Wala ka na bang plano bumalik sa politika?
Wala. Ano tayo ngayon? Relax muna tayo ngayon. So far, that's not in our plans. Siguro gagawin natin, mamimili na lang tayo kung sino yung karapat-dapat na tulungan. Pero in my private capacity lang naman yon. So ganun lang siguro ako for the meantime. Ang sarap ng ano no? Sarap ng medyo wala ka pang stress eh. Tsaka yung stress yung stress sa basketball, ano na, enough na yon sa buhay ng isang tao.
Sobra-sobra na nga eh.
Sobra na yun, no? Tama.
Sobra na. Pero, Coach, maraming alam natin mga sports personalities, players no, na pumapasok sa politika. Nandyan si James Yap, nag-file. Alam natin, of course, sila Paul Artadi, Donald. Kahit si Gary David ay nag-file din ng kanyang candidacy.
Si Alvin Patrimonio.
Si Alvin Patrimonio, sumama rin. Ray Evangelista, Dondon. Ikaw nanggaling ka na dyan. So, anong payo mo yan sa ating mga kasama sa industriya? Kasi galing ka na dyan eh.
Hindi lang galing, lumaki ako sa politika,
tama.
no. So nababad ako from an early age, no, sa politics, no. So nangibabaw lang talaga yung basketball dahil nga na napunta rin tayo diyan sa career na yan. Pero mahirap yung mahirap ang politics. Alam mo, talaga, sakripisyo talaga yan eh, no? At iba ang kultura, no? Iba ang kultura sa politics other than yung normal siguro surroundings mo or yung normal na buhay. Iba yung kultura sa politics. Kailangan talaga diyan medyo matibay ka, no? Kailangan din diyan lalo na na nag-aaral ka, no, na alam mo yung current situations, alam mong i-assess yung mga nangyayari sa paligid mo. At the same time, ang ko lang diyan is you don't lose your idealism, kasi pagka nawala yung idealism mo diyan, kakainin ka talaga ng sistema. So you have to retain your true character and your idealism.
Well said. Dahil alam naman natin may mga ibang tao na minsan hinahatulan na kagad ang mga sports personalities na hindi karapat-dapat. Pero hindi naman po lahat ika nga akma eh. Pero meron din naman mga sports personalities na talaga kagaya sinabi ni Coach Yeng nag-aaral din naman at karapat-dapat din. Kaya ang importante dyan paghandaan kung ano man ang papasukan. Parang ginagawa ninyo sa paglalaro ng basketball, Coach Yeng. Iwanan ko na nga yung politika dahil napaka-masalimuot na usapan yan eh. Pero puntahan natin ang larangan ng PBA, Coach Yeng. Obviously, the last conference, itong Philippine Cup, medyo kinapos ang NLEX. Ano ang assessment mo, Coach Yeng, considering na absent, nawala, hindi nakapaglaro ang iyong top player na si Kiefer Ravena, all of a sudden, ano ang naging assessment mo, Coach, sa paglalaro ng NLEX? Tingnan natin, Andiyan pa ba si Coach? Coach? Mukhang naputol, no? Naputol ba? Okay, medyo nagkaroon siya ng problema sa kanyang signal. Babalikan po natin si Coach Yeng. Again, kausap po natin si Coach Yeng Guiao. Ang NLEX po, last conference, ay nagtapos sa quarterfinals. Natalo sila. They finished 7th sa team standings nung elimination round. Subalit sila po ay tinalo ng Meralco Bolts doon po sa quarterfinals. Although nadala nila yun sa isang sudden death game. Yung pong laban ng Meralco at saka ng NLEX. Pero kinapos po sila. But again, this is a team na nung una na nagsisimula, nandun po si Kiefer. Pero alam na po natin na nangyari dyan. Pinayagan ng PBA, pinayagan ng kanyang kumpuna na maglaro sa B-League. At nawalan sila, naulila sila sa isa kanilang top player na si Kiefer Ravena. And yet, they went all the way to the quarterfinals. So again, we'd like to find out kung ano po ang thoughts ni Coach Yeng sa kanyang paglalaro. Babalikan natin si Coach Yeng. Samantala, gusto ko lang pong kamustahin ulit ng lahat po ng ating mga tagapakinig sa Power and Play at lalong-lalo na yung mga nauuna pong tumututok dito, mga suki natin from Bacolod City, si Alex Fuentes, si Errol Grimares at napakarami pang iba, si Rachel Merino, Rubilin Bases. Magandang umaga po sa inyong lahat. Kami po ay mamaya-maya pag-uusapan din natin yung mga moving forward ng NLEX. I think Coach Yeng is back on air. Tingnan natin. Coach?
Yes, ayun. Sorry na kakaroon ako ng
Naghang lang.
technical problem eh. So, ayan.
Oo, okay lang.
Balik.
Ako rin, nagkakaroon ako ng ganyan eh. Ganyan talaga ang buhay sa mga
Yes.
third world.
Oh, ngayon,
Sabi ko nga,
ganyan na.
Iwanan na natin yung politika at masalimuot yung coaching. So ang tanong ko ngayon, puntahan natin yung performance ng NLEX sa Philippine Cup. Bagamat kinapos kayo, again, you pushed Meralco to the limit. Although wala doon yung top player mo na si Kiefer, your assessment, coaching sa performance ng Road Warriors?
Masaya na rin ako no doon sa na-achieve namin no. Sabi mo nga during the middle of the conference we lost Kiefer. No, actually we were expecting na makabalik pa siya. We were trying to buy him sometime kasi ang alam namin magkakaroon pa ng pagkakataon para makabalik siya no. Pero we were also alam naman namin yung realidad din na pwedeng mangyaring dahil sa sitwasyon natin sa pandemic, sa mga travel restrictions. Alam din namin na there is a realistic chance na baka hindi na rin siya makabalik. So we were prepared for that, but at the same time we were hoping na sana makabalik no dahil importante talaga siya sa amin. Pero ando na kami no. We had a few games where we played well, no, even without him. Nag-step up yung mga bata na to which I'm really glad and happy about their performance. Ang Meralco, napakalakas na team. Actually, iniisip ko nga dun sa Meralco, potential potential finalist or champion.
Oo.
Or nalo pa rin ng championship eh. So we were able to force a do-or-die game na to me was already a big achievement despite our loss of Kiefer. We must remember nung nawala si Kiefer, he was leading the league in assist and he was also leading the league in 3-point percentage. Yun yung
grabe,
yun
nawala no.
Yun yung hindi namin napunuan agad no.
Oh.
But I was yung consolation, lumitaw yung laro nila nila Don Troliano at lalo na si Calvin Oftana no. So that is probably the best takeaway we can get out of the experience.
What gives you hope, coach? Sabi mo nga yung mga pangalan niya, Calvin Oftana, si Don Troliano. Of course, you're known for developing and discovering so many players na nanggagaling sa bench no. Anong silver linings for you in the future, coach? Na ngayon alam naman natin na medyo you have to plan a team without your top player na si Kiefer. Ano ang nakikita mo here?
Yun, aside from yung yung dalawa, si Calvin at saka si Don who are already siguro asserting themselves no in terms of getting that extra playing time and contributing a lot more to the team. Laking improvement din dyan si Tony Semerad. No? Tony Semerad used to be just a defensive role player. But now he's scoring. No? His 3-point shooting is a big asset. He's a floor spacer. He can play multiple positions. He now plays 3 and 4, which he already can before, no? Pero ngayon mas komportable na siya ron sa spot na yon, ano. One thing siguro that one thing that we're also looking forward to is being able to fit in a new an import, no? who can who can complement these guys. And now we're working on that already kasi naghahanda na naman lahat ng teams doon sa eventuality na magkakaroon tayo ng import for the next conference. And we're very we're very hopeful, we're very excited na yung import na maipasok namin ay tutugma at magiging sagot doon sa mga iba pang kulang sa team na pwede niyang punuan. So
Any particular names right now, Coach Yeng, na tinitingnan ninyo?
ang hirap kasi magsabi ngayon, Kom Noli, baka pag sinabi namin, maunahan pa kami nung ibang team. Kasi lahat ng team ngayon, they're in that stage. All the teams are in that stage where they're negotiating with agents and imports themselves. And they already have their short lists. Meron kaming deadline kung di ako nagkakamali, dati October 15, ngayong ginawa ng PBA October 21 to be able to meet all the ngayon yan daming documentary requirements ng IADF, ng PBA, and from the place where they will be coming from. So extra effort on the part of teams, agents, and players to be able to put together these documentary requirements.
Coach, alam natin na ang laking problema, of course, ng COVID. It was a big stress na sa inyo nung first conference. Maraming kapalaran ang naapektuhan dahil sa mga health and safety protocols. There were certain teams that had to play triple game, back-to-back games. Meron mga nawalan ng top players. Ito na naman, isa pa na namang dagdag to na sakit ng ulo yung imports. Dahil alam naman natin, bihirang-bihira naman yung mga Justin Brownlee. Nagtatagal na pa mula day 1 hanggang dulo. Are you planning to get 2-3 players already? Ipapasok nyo dyan? Ano bang, para hindi na kayo ma-delay? Ano bang plano mo dyan?
Ayun ang isang bring in 2 or 3 players already right away kasi naninigurado ka. Alam mo, sa hirap ng negosyo ngayon, sa hirap ng hanap buhay, alam natin yung mga teams talagang they're just trying to put together yung kanilang budgetary requirements then that will mean extra cost, So, ang isa pang advantage ngayon kung makakuha ka ng import is kung alam mong magaling na at alam mo maganda ugali at alam mo mag-fit sa team mo, ang laking advantage mo. Kasi pag nagpalit ka midway, sakit ng ulo na naman yun. You will have to go through the documentary requirements and the trouble of may mga imports na ayaw magpa-vaccine. May mga imports na may mga issues doon sa mga ganung mga bagay. Tapos, pag hindi mo subok, ito ang inaano rin namin, siguro I can give a hint now. Alam mo, ang kinakausap namin, yung nakita na namin nasubok na namin nakita mo ang ugali, nakita mo yung laro. Kesa dun sa magsusugal ka, dun sa import na sinasabing magaling, sinasabing mabait naman, pero hindi mo pa nasusubukan kasi nag-iiba yun pagdating dito So, maybe as a hint, we are really looking at imports who've already played here and whom we know that they're capable of. So, para less yung risk, less yung gamble. Maybe that's already a hint. Yung import namin galing dito.
Kumbaga, himayin na lang ninyo yung mga dating import ni Coach Yeng. Malamang doon sa mga naglarong yun, doon manggagaling yung lalaro sa NLEX sa susunod na conference. Coach, looking at the second conference, anong nakikita mo? Are there going to be any more adjustments to the NLEX Road Warriors? Pagdating sa mga local players, are you looking for any more trades just before the conference begins?
Right now, wala naman kaming trades. Pero isang pinag-iisipan namin seriously considering, because of the loss of Kiefer, we might need a point guard type player also na pwedeng tumulong kay Kevin, pwedeng mag-relieve sa kanya kasi dati mas madali yung trabaho ni Kevin at point guard Of course, andyan din naman si Mike Ayon-Ayon, andyan din naman si si Philip Panyamogan, ginagamit namin sila pang relief. But of course, ano pa yun eh, no? Pahihinugin mo pa si Mike, no? Si Philip is not a true point guard. He's actually a two, no? So nung nawala si Kiefer, bandang towards the end of our present conference, yung kalaban na namin Meralco, nafe-feel na namin, nararamdaman na namin na kailangan talaga ng alalay or support ni Kevin sa point guard position dahil nga nawala si Kiefer. So we are seriously considering somebody who can relieve Kiefer at that position.
Okay. Talking about Kiefer, Coach Yeng, nagsimula na siya maglaro sa B-League. We've seen some of his games, some of ang kanya statistics is almost similar kung ano yung ginagawa niya para sa inyo. Your first impressions kay Kiefer na ngayon ay leading his team sa team standings ng Japan B-League?
I am not surprised. No, I'm not surprised. Kiefer has been playing consistently for us before he left. He was in excellent shape. No? Ang ganda ng kondisyon niya nung bago siya umalis.
Dahil sa inyo.
Tapos alam naman natin si Kiefer is an experienced baller internationally. Kasama ko siya sa World Cup. Sama namin siya 1 year before that. Training kami ng Spain, ng Europe, iba-ibang windows ng World Cup. So it did not surprise me that he would do well in Japan kasi kabisado naman niya yung laro eh, no? And because of his talent, he can easily adjust, no, to whatever situation. So nakita ko lang clips niya, no? I have not watched a full game ni Kiefer, but I can see the clips. And makikita mo talaga yung role niya dun sa team niya. He's becoming a key player, is becoming a linchpin in their rotation. So kinakabahan ako eh, baka matagalan bago makabalik si Kiefer.
Mabigat, baka mawili. Baka mawili at magustuhan.
Yun ang nakaka-nervous eh, no?
Pero may commitment naman sa inyo. In fact, nagsabi si Kiefer dito sa show namin na talagang committed pa rin siyang bumalik. Alam mo naman pag gaganon eh.
Bumalik ang tanong kung kailan eh. Yun ang problema, baka magtagal.
Huwag mo sabihin niya, baka nininervyos na mga boses sa NLEX, Coach. Anyway, before I let you go, Coach Yeng, your thoughts, I want to get your thoughts about the ongoing PBA Philippine Cup. Unahin ko muna, of course, yung pagpasok ng Magnolia. Kagabi, tinalo nila ang Meralco at sila ay nasa finals muli. Bakit ganong kabigat itong Magnolia? What do you see in them that makes them so difficult to play against?
Tingin ko yung yung Magnolia, they've matured together as a team, no? Hindi naman sila yung madalas magpalit ng pyesa or hindi sila yung maraming even in their system nahinog sila doon sa ganung sistema, no? I think that's also a credit to Coach Chito na nag-settle down na sila doon sa kumbaga cruising altitude or cruising speed nila, tapos whenever they want to put on the burners, ika nga ayun, meron silang meron silang parang boosters pagka gusto nila they're a very good defensive team, and then yung mga gwardiya nila subok sa dikdikan, no, yung team na yon. Kalaban namin ng Meralco is a very physical team, no, and they're a big team. Pero sumabay at nanalo pa nga itong Magnolia with their smaller guards, no, against Meralco. Ang laking bagay din nung pagdating ni Calvin Abuela. It gave them a lot more energy, aggressiveness, yung flexibility nila na gamitin siya na wingman at gamitin din siya na as a big, no? So give them a lot of flexibility, lot of
Laking bagay.
energy. So laking bagay nun, no? Laking bagay nun. Malakas na nga yung Magnolia as it was. Dinagdagan mo pa ng Calvin Abueva, lalo silang lumakas. Of course,
And remember,
nandun pa si Ian. Dati na yun no? Parang nahihinog na lang sila lalo ron. No? So maganda yung
at
ano
saka si
nila.
Paul Lee, of course. Napakaganda ng laro ni Paul Lee. And of course, Coach, si Calvin, ang nawala lang sa Magnolia sa kay Calvin was Chris Banchero na gwardiya. Ang dami-dami nilang...
Yun nga, hindi nila masyado naramdaman kasi alam din nila na malalim sila sa gwardiya.
All right, my final question, Coach Yeng, as you all know, Game 7. Game 7, and I will not ask you, hindi kita tatanungin kung ano yung sino pa nanalo because alam ko kayo mga coaches, ayaw nyo ng ganyan But ang tatanungin ko sa iyo...
Salamat naman. Ang hirap sagutin yun
Hindi, ayoko rin ilagay kayo. Pero ang tanong ko sa iyo, coaches, ito, ano ang, sa tingin, ito lang, 1 or 2 factors, key factor, na magiging senyales who will take Game 7?
Hindi mo nga tinanong kung sino mananalo, pero mas mahirap din yung tinanong mo sa akin kung uli. No? Pero kung ako, siguro, to me, ang key kasi dyan is when talk and text is making their 3-point shots, they're very hard to defend because they space the floor really well. No? Andyan si Jason, andyan si Mikey Williams. Ang hirap pigilin yan pagka kumukonek sina Pugoy, sina Troy, no, yung mga 3-point shooters nila. I think the burden will still lie on the San Miguel defense. No? Pagka maganda ang pagkakadepensa nila doon sa spacing ng talk and text, Coach Todd employs the dribble drive offense. They space the floor, they attack the basket, and then they kick out to their 3-point shooters. And if they kick out, and those 3-point shooters are making good percentage, ang hirap talunin ng talk and text. No? On the side naman ng San Miguel, walang pang match up kay Junmar. So physically, no. But of course, they've been working hard. They've been scheming Junmar whenever he's at the post. Pero wala talagang size match-up with Junmar. So Junmar is going to be key also for San Miguel. So yun ang sa akin, no? How well Junmar plays the low post for San Miguel when he's able to attract the defense and free up the very talented wingmen of San Miguel. And how San Miguel will defend yung dribble drive offense, no, challenging the threes and at the same time plugging the driving lanes ng Token.
Well, yan ang tututukan natin. But one thing is sure, it will be an exciting Game 7 between the top 2 teams ng ating liga. Perhaps the most talented, no? 2 of the most talented teams.
Ito na yung dalawang most talented. Actually, Ginebra should be there, but Ginebra is in a period of adjustment.
Correct, with Stan Harding. And of course, yung naging health and safety protocols din, yun ang tumama rin sa Ginebra. Coach Yeng, maraming salamat. Again, always fun to have you. And stay stress-free na ngayon wala ka sa politika.
Salamat. Ikaw rin, stress-free ka rin. Huwag ka muna pumasok sa politika, Kom Noli.
Naku, malayo yan. Ano tayo? Kain lang tayo ng kain.
Ayun. Masarap yun. Thank you.
Mga kaibigan, ang ating kaibigan si Coach Yeng Guiao ng FLX Road Warriors. Alam niyo ba si Coach Yeng, best friend yan ng kapatid ko. Magkakasama po silang igangan doon sa eskwelahan. And of course, nung araw, ako yung kanilang utusan Kasi ako yung mas bata Pero kami po ang nagkasama-sama nung panahon na nasa high school sila. Alright, mga kaibigan, tuloy-tuloy po tayo sa ating huntahan dito sa Power and Play. Siya nga pala, before we introduce the next guest, gusto ko lang pong batiin ang aking isa pang kaibigan. Pinag-uusapan niyang high school. si Ira Panganiban, isa po na sa mga broadcasters din natin, although sa kabilang stasyon, ng isa ring belated happy birthday sa aking batchmate. Happy birthday, Idol Ira Panganiban. Alright, bago po tayo magpatuloy, tayo po ay magbe-break muna sa amin pong pagbabalik. Naku, explosive. Ang kasama po natin, dalawa sa pinaka-inabangan at binabasang mga writer ng Spin, si Homer Sayson at si Snow Badua sa Power and Play. Hatid sa inyo ng Cherry Loom at ng Cherry Tigo.
Alex, are you ready to have some fun on your first driving lesson?
Alright mga kaibigan, tuloy-tuloy po tayo sa Power and Play. Again, doon sa mga gusto pong makihabol pa, ang ating pinupulsuhan ngayong araw pong ito. Simple-simple ang tanong. Sino po mananalo sa Game 7? San Miguel o Talk and Text? Nagaganapin bukas. Again, Pulso ng Bayan. Sino ang mananalo sa Game 7? Talk and Text o San Miguel? Pinag-uusapan ng basketball. Kasama po natin ngayon dalawa sa nakatutok sa basketball. And perhaps two of the most well-read, most followed, and of course, yung binabasa sila ng kanilang mga followers. No other than Homer Sayson at ang first-timer sa aking show, si Snow Badua. Magandang umaga, gentlemen.
Morning, boss. Good morning.
Ayun!
Good morning.
Homer, good to see you. Alam niyo po mga kaibigan, ito sasabihin ko sa inyo, ito po, kung sa Amerika, meron sa tinatawag na Adrian, Wojciech, yun po yung mga nagpapasabog na mga kung ano-ano, mga balita tungkol sa NBA. Ito pong dalawang ito, ang version natin. Si Homer's Home Runs at saka si Snow's Bombs. Yeah, Snow Bombs. Kaya talaga, and of course, kami ni Homer, matagal ko na nag-guest. Pero Snow, matagal ko na ikaw hindi nakikita. Kamusta? Una-una, you're still writing for Spin, di ba? Tama, Snow?
Boss, medyo hindi na tayo nagsusulat lately. Ito na focus tayo.
Ganun ba?
But regular tayo dun sa program nila. So meron kaming podcast dun eh. So regular tayo dun. Medyo naiba.
Sabihin nyo kung anong araw yan, yung podcast na yan, para masundan. Anong araw ba yan?
Tuesday, boss, 1 to 3 p.m. every Tuesday.
Nice. Kasama ka ba doon, Homer? Kasama ka ba doon?
Unfortunately, my schedule would not allow it, Commissioner. Kasi madaling umaga dito yan and I'm at work. So,
Pang-power.
yeah.
Hindi. Kaibigan natin to si Homer Kaya kahit na binabayaran lang natin ng $2 ito, okay lang.
2005 pesos. An appearance.
All right, let me go quickly kasi alam ko na kayong dalawa ay very busy. But let me begin first, of course, with itong recently na nangyaring trade. And this is about Blackwater at saka Alaska na kung saan na-trade si JV Casio Ibonia napunta sa sa panig ng Alaska. Ang Alaska naman ay nakuha si Mike Tolomia. You had a column on JV, Homer, and I'll begin with you. Na napakaganda, no? It's about how he accepted this trade. But ang tanong ko is this, is there, kasi alam naman natin, ang tagal na ni JV sa Alaska na parang minsan gusto mo na sa ibang liga, paritiro na yan, doon ka na sa ano mo. So ang tanong ko, is this thing called loyalty overrated sa PBA? In other words, dapat ba na pahalagahan pa rin ng mga players ang loyalty sa koponan, Homer?
No, it would be unrealistic, Commissioner. Because if you want a business to thrive, you have to be, ang priority mo is productivity. If you put productivity beneath loyalty, you'll lose money. And I've learned that myself. Nakatira ako dito sa Chicago, Commissioner, as many of your listeners know. And it had always been my fantasy that Michael Jordan will retire as a Chicago Bull. Pero ano nangyari? Nandun sa Washington Wizards. I've always dreamed and fantasized of Patrick Ewing retiring as a New York Knick. He went to the Orlando Magic. He went to the Seattle Supersonics. Same thing with the PBA. And when I asked JV naman, he was very honest. He didn't want to be traded, but at the same time, he understood the business. Hindi na siya. He wasn't even playing much. I think playing only 14 minutes a game. He was no longer a part of the regular rotation, kung baga. So he understood it. And instead of focusing on, alam mo na, social media, people say, hey, you should have retired there. He focused on the good things na nakuha niya while he was an Alaska Ace. He was able to build a house. Kabili siya ng 2 kotse. Nakapag-ipon siya ng pera for investments in real estate. The rest was just gravy. And then if it happened na hindi na siya maging Alaska Ace, and he took it with, some realization na niya, it's okay. I'll be fine and I'll be okay. So, yes, but to answer your question, loyalty is overrated, Commissioner.
All right. Well, alam mo, ako, of course, I thought the trade was fair. Maganda yung pagkakapalitan and yun ang mga trade na tama. But Snow, alam mo ikaw, marami ka nang tinutukan ng mga trades and meron ka na isulat na Inciso to Ginebra, maaring mangyari. Meron ka pang na-tweet na si Terence Romeo ay maaring on his way also to another team. So ang tanong ko, Snow, with this, yung nangyari kay JV now, kahit na matagal ka na sa koponan, nati-trade ka pa, and we know Agiwa has been off the list ng Ginebra. Meron pa ba tayo mga expect ng mga veterano na maililipat, Snow?
Sa ngayon, boss, wala pang movement eh. Kasi ang isa sa mga problema ngayon ng mga teams is mahirap yung trading ngayon, medyo komplikado. Hindi lang ito yung katulad dati na mag-uusap kayo, tapos i-execute nyo na yung palitan ng players. Ngayon kasi, boss, may mga kinukonsider na mga health factors, no? Tapos ngayon bago malipat sa isang team yung isang player, kailangan dumaan sa iba't ibang mga pagsusuri, yung mga RT-PCR test, etc. And at the same time, walang mga laro masyado kaya yung mga teams nagdadalawang isip munang magpalitan ngayon. But right now, wala pa, no, except dun sa minention mo, boss, na Terence Romeo might be going to Barangay Ginebra soon. No, yan yung nadinig natin mula sa kampo ng San Miguel Corporation. Yung kay Inciso, boss, hindi ako naglabas doon. Ang naglabas doon yung mas magaling mag-break stories sa Mr. Homer Sayson. pero si ayon sa pagtatanong natin, mukhang tatagal pa ng at least 1 year yan sa Terra Firma Jeep. So, pag kumuha sila ng player, hindi agad nila na-trade yan. Tumatagal pa at least 1 year yan.
So, anong balita kay Kagiwa, Snow? Anong balita kay Mark Kagiwa?
Totally retired na siya. Kumbaga parang silently nag-drift away lang siya knowing Mark Agiwa. Boss, I'm sure alam mo rin yung ugali nitong tao na to. Even sa All-Stars, nagiging problema to ng mga commissioners dati, di ba? Na top getter siya pero hindi siya lalaro, no? Kasi sa point of view ni Kagiwa, he's only there to play dun sa mga regular games eh. Pagka All-Star yan, normally hindi po siya talaga ganun ka passionate na lumaro, no? Kahit sabihin natin na talagang fan favorite siya. Ewan ko kung naging problema niyo rin yan, boss, at during yan, dahil dumaan yan, no? Nagka-problema ka rin ba nun, boss? Matanong lang ito.
Sa totoo lang, nagka-problema din. Pero naman, very, very close sa akin si Mark and that's why, alam mo, marami kami napagdaanan ni NC47. Pero bago Snow, balikan ko lang si Enciso. Homer, ano, sabi ni Snow, ikaw daw ang naglabas ng kwentong yon. Ano ang balita doon kay Enciso going to Ginebra?
Yes, nakausap ko siya, Commissioner. He was working out in Las Vegas last Sunday, 1 week from tomorrow. Nakausap ko siya, he was kind enough to talk to me and tumawa lang siya. But he said na, oh, I also heard that. I also saw your tweet, sabi niya. And I got tagged and all this stuff. He did not deny it, Commissioner, and sabi lang niya, kung doon ako pupunta, then doon ako pupunta. But for now, ang focus lang niya is terra firma.
Alam
Pero
mo, we've seen these traits. Nakikita natin itong mga traits na to, Homer and Snow. You know, little traits like I cannot say this is a blockbuster trade. Hindi naman ito yung talagang iga nga nakakayanig, no? And these are the traits na hindi naman naigagalaw talaga yung needle in terms of, I guess, balancing the league. And Snow, Homer, kayo, you've been writing about this, nagpo-post kayo about this, about papaano magiging mas balanse ang liga. And when you look at, for instance, itong Philippine Cup, ang nasa semifinals, top 4 teams. Yung mga nasa ilalim, yung talagang mga pinupulit sa dulo lagi, no? Ano ang tingin nyo? How do we close this gap between the powerhouses at saka yung also runs? Yung mga talagang malalakas at saka yung mga kulelat. I'll begin with you, Snow.
Ako, I think, boss, the PBA needs a total reboot. No? Kumbaga sa computer, magpapalit ka ng OS, no? Magpapalit ka ng mga software, etc., etc. Kasi if you're going to rely on the present setup, wala na eh. Talagang palayo ng palayo. Even Alaska and even rain or shine, mapapansin mo nyo, lumalayo rin po yung distance nila from the top 40. Why? It's because masyadong mayaman yung mga mayayamang teams. Yung mga, kasi parang ang sitwasyon ngayon sa PBA, boss, parang ano yan eh. Parang status natin sa buhay eh. Meron tayong mayayaman, meron tayong middle class, meron tayong lower class na tinatawag. Yung mga upper class na mga teams natin, palayo ng palayo. They can get the players that they need. They can get the best players from the other teams even they don't have the need for them. Yung mga middle teams naman, hindi sila makakuha ng mga tamang pyesa na kailangan nila kasi nakukuha ng mga mayayamang teams. Yung mga mahihirap na mga teams, instead na hinuho nila yung talent na hawak nila, binibigay nila sa mga mayayamang teams. So doon tayo nagkakaroon ng problema. You can ask the coaches, the management from Rain or Shine, from Phoenix, from Alaska, doon mo makikita, no? I'm sure, no, hindi nila sasabihin yan in public, but talking to them off the air or behind camera, sasabihin nila na ang hirap kumuha kasi bago namin makuha, naka-MR na yan, nakapangalan na yan kay ganito, sa team na to. Pagka hindi na diretso eh. Unlike nung panahon mo, Kom, talagang napipigilan din yung mga ganito eh. No? So, ngayon total reboot ang kailangan po ng PBA. Baguhin mo yung mga rules nila, mag-implement sila ng mga creative guidelines, no, para kahit papano maiwasan natin yung pag-circumvent ng rules. May rules tayo talaga eh. No, whether we like it or not, may rules yung circumvent. Doon nagkakaroon.
All right. Well, Homer, you have also written about yung parity of the league. And of course, one of the biggest factors ng parity is the salary cap. Yan ay isang rason. Yung salary cap ay nilalagay dyan para ang mga kupunan na hindi masyadong malayo as presumingly dun sa standard ng PBA. But do you think that this salary cap is a invincible and a non-existent factor sa PBA, Homer?
No, it's not a silver bullet, Commissioner, but it would help. Nakausap ko 2 nights ago si Coach Norman Black. He called me, we spoke, and I congratulated him 40 years in the NBA, in the PBA. You know what he told me was very striking. He said, he's a very good coach, and he can coach given the good tools, magiging champion si Coach Norman Black. But you know what he told me, Commissioner? He is resigned to his fate na, as far as he's concerned, that chasing championships will not happen as long as the top 4 teams are there. Meralco would always be relegated to where you're teaching players, you're developing players, and that speaks of the parity. Like, I give you an example. Alam mo ba magkano budget ng Blackwater sa conference na to for upcoming conference for an import? Blackwater's budget is $18,000 a month for the import. TNT, on the other hand, is trying to get Terrence Jones, which is demanding $70,000 a month. And how are you supposed to compete? kung yung TNT and other powerhouse like Ginebra with Brownlee, if they can afford a import that's taking $70,000 a month, and Blackwater is only relegated to, because of their budget constraints, a player which is $52,000 less a month. Walang parity, Commissioner. There's like sinabi ni sinabi ni Snow, it's a microcosm of society. There's rich and poor, and the poor gets poorer all the time. Like now, like for instance now, sinong naka-advantage nitong 4 teams na nasa bubble? Sino ang may exposure? Who gets all the advertising mileage? It's the big team. They get even richer. Yung mga na-eliminate, wala na. The NLEXs of the world, the Bossings of the world, they no longer have the media mileage because it's the big teams. And how do you cure it? You have a defined salary cap na pero hindi. Like somebody told me, Commissioner, and San Miguel can feel free to deny this, but Junmar Fajardo is getting 2 million pesos a month. And on paper, the PBA is supposed to only pay per player 420 maximum a month. But how come Junmar Fajardo is getting 2 million a month?
Well, alam, of course, yan mga reports na yan ay hindi naman natin sinasabing verified or official. But,
no, they're not. Yes, of course. Ang nagsabi sa akin,
to be fair to the San Miguel group and of course to the other teams. No? Pero narinig na natin yan. No? We've heard, of course, of all the perks and everything. But again, yung salary cap kasi, hindi lamang yan sa taas, yung maximum na pwede mong gastusin. Meron din tinatawag na minimum na dapat mong gastusin. I'll tell you a story. Yung panahon ko, yung rain or shine, nung panahon na yun, humingi ng exemption because you're only allowed, yung minimum na dapat mong gastusin is 75% of your salary cap. So kung ang panahon namin, 32 million ang salary cap that time annually. 75% of that was about roughly 22 million. And they were not spending that much. And we told them, you have to spend that much. Kasi yun ang niisip ng PBA na sapat na salaries para maging competitive.
Competitive, yes.
In fairness, I think many of the teams are complying. But again, there are issues about that. But habang usapan niya, I want to go to another matter here. And this is about the B-League. May bago na naman pumasok sa B-League, itong anak ni Marlo Aquino. Snow, you have posted before, nasabi mo, meron pa mga top players na maaaring pumasok sa Japan B-League. Are we expecting more movement mula sa Philippine basketball patungo sa Japan?
Yes, definitely, boss. Actually, the players themselves are already looking at the B-League. Ang problema lang, yung mga present PBA players, natatakot sila dun sa rules na po pwedeng ibato sa kanila ng PBA. Ang worry kasi ng mga local players natin is that parang PBA import yan eh. Short-lived yung career, malaki yung kikitain mo pero short-lived yung career mo sa B-League. You can play there for like 3 years, 4 years, 5 years, or maximum of 6 years, no? So ang tinitingnan nila security of tenure after yung kanilang B-League stint. But right now, ang dami nating mga nakukonfirm na mga kinakausap na ng B-League. One is Terence Romeo, isa sa mga inaasintan nila yan. Christian Stan Hardinger, hindi po ako magugulat if this coming December hindi siya mag-renew sa Barangay Ginebra. No? And ang dami pa, boss, ang dami nilang inaay. At ang B-League po kasi, mga kaibigan, hindi lang po yung talent mismo ng player ang kanilang tinitignan eh. Ang kanilang tinitignan is yung marketability. Ina-assess din nila, they're monitoring different websites, pages dito sa Pilipinas. Tapos doon nila binabase kung sikat ito, makakahatak ito. Kasi boss, yung B-League, hindi katulad ng PBA na commercial eh. Yung B-League kasi will also relies doon sa kanilang merchandise at sa kanilang sales, tickets, and viewership. So, yan yung tinitingnan nila. And right now, one of the most popular players sa atin is definitely Terence Romeo. So, ang pagkakaintindi ko nga, pati yung ibang mga big man natin is kinukuha na rin doon po sa B-League ngayon. Sila Richie Rivero, boss, wala pa sa PBA, isa yung sa mga inaay din.
Alright. Well, alam din natin na meron pang isang tiga-Ateneo na maaaring pumunta na rin sa B-League. Homer, what makes the B-League so attractive? We've seen how they plug, how they go online. Nakita natin yung kanilang style, yung anime style, and it's very unique. But what makes it so attractive para sa mga players ng Pilipinas?
Show me the money. Di ba, Commissioner? Just like what he said. The beauty of the B-League is this. May limit sila, Commissioner. From what I'm told with the agents that I've talked to in Japan, may limit din naman ang mga teams, 15,000. But the reason why they're able to pay more, as much as 40,000, is because yung mga sponsors, look at the B-League uniform sa Japan, ang daming mga sponsors, and they help pay for the players' salaries. And one other thing that makes it lucrative too is this. Diyan sa atin, because the agents are being not seriously respected by the PBA teams necessarily. Sa atin, di ba, kung may player, siya nagbabayad ng commission sa agent niya. But out there in the B-League commissioner, the agents are also paid their 10% commission by the teams. So for instance, if I sign Snow Badua to $15,000 or $40,000 a month, babayaran ko rin ng 10% ang agent niya. So 2 nights ago, maybe he's listening, one of the very prominent agents in the Philippines, diyan sa PBA, tumawag sa akin. Medyo nagtampo dahil sabi niya, they're trying to get one of my players, superstar player. Ba't naman hindi dumaan sa akin? Ba't naman nag-backdoor? Sabi ko naman, well, because they're an international agent and they feel like, kung makuha nila, then why do you have to include you, di ba? So, like I said, if the player really wants loyalty sa team niya, then he wouldn't even talk to that international agent. But if you're being offered $40,000 a month, you would be stupid not to listen, Commissioner. This goes back to loyalty again na sinabi natin from the beginning of the broadcast. Now, it's two ways. If the team cannot manifest loyalty when the player is already old, the player should also be allowed to not manifest that loyalty kung may malaking offer sa ibang league. Isn't that only fair? Isn't that only fair, di ba, Commissioner?
Well, obviously, it cuts both ways. Kailangan parehong merong papakinabangan, both on the player side and on the team side. So, I want to ask you, before Homer, given all of this, sabi mo, may mga papunta pa dyan. May sinasabi si Homer na ang lalaki ng nangyayaring sweldo, although short term, ano pwedeng gawin ng PBA to arrest this or to maybe to make it more attractive na wag na kayo mag-isip niyang billing. Dito na kayo sa amin.
Actually, boss, the PBA, hindi nila mapipigilan yung exodus ng mga players natin, no? Kasi triple, doble, no? 3-4 na ulit pa yung sweldo doon. The PBA needs to clean its backyard, no? Magbigay sila ng mga bagay na hindi po pwedeng tanggihan ng mga players to stay. No, like for example, si Richie Rivero, he could have signed with the Shiga Lake Stars, so nagka-problema yung Lake Stars with Kiefer Ravena. Kaso nagdalawang isip siya. Why? Kasi sa Pilipinas, may karoon siya ng pag-aartista. No, siguro ang isa sa mga dapat dito i-exploit ng PBA is yung factor na malalayo ka sa pamilya mo no, doon sa mga players. Tapos pangalawa, bigyan nila ng magandang laban yung mga players, no? Bigyan nila ng something na iisipin ng player na valuable pa rin siya as a player, na hindi lang yung sa pera-pera na lang makukuha. Yung kumbaga yung passion mo for basketball, kailangan ma-relieve yan ng PBA. And siguro, kung talagang yung drastic na yung kailangan gawin ng PBA, siguro kailangan iangat ulit nila yung salary cap ng PBA, but this time they need to be strict. No? Dapat lahat mag-follow talaga. Dapat sumunod yung mga teams sa mga hindi kaya, sumunod yan sa salary cap na yan. They better sell their franchises. No? Kasi yung PBA should be a league for the big boys. No?
Excuse me.
Hindi po pwede dyan yung wala kang budget, palusot ka, hihingi ka na exemption. Diba? So, yun siguro. No, kung hindi man kayang tapatan ng PBA yung 3 times, 4 times na laki ng salary sa B-League, siguro they should find ways na kahit paano dumikit lang ng konti. Siguro kalahati lang, I'm sure, no, magdadalawang isip yung mga players natin na umalis. Kasi may mga pamilya rin naman yung mga yan
Well, Homer, panahon na ba para alisin itong Phil Foreign Cup ng PBA dahil ang dami-daming talent, no? Ang daming gusto maglaro pa rin sa PBA. Pero ang problema, ang dami rin nating eligibility rules.
Yes, those eligibility rules are outdated, Commissioner. They have to just make it an open market. Kung baga, what happened to Russia? When they introduced glasnost and perestroika, open market democracy, what happened to Russia? Russia is thriving. It's become a powerhouse. And everybody can come and go as they want, do business as they want. Same thing there. And also, if you want to keep your players, ano bang reason? Like for instance, if I'm an older player, let's just say I'm James Yap, why would I want to go? If Japan offers me, I'm older, I want to go. Why? Because you want to secure your future, diba? So if you want, the PBA wants to secure its players, 2 things they can do, Commissioner: pension fund and health insurance. Tingnan mo, nakita ko yung story sa Spin na may player na, I forgot his names, no, pero nanghingi ng abuloy, nanghingi ng tulong. Terry Saldana, nanghingi ng tulong because he played so many years in the PBA, 13 years. Walang medical insurance, walang pension fund. And it's terrible. So kasi the B-League commissioner is not for everybody. Here's what I heard. May mga interesadong team kay Bolick, an agent told me, Robert Bolick of Northport. But you know why they're having second thoughts with Bolick? Because they thought he might not be like Kiefer, sanay na, pumunta na sa Amerika yan, and when he tried for the G League, he can handle being alone. They don't think Bolick has the same wherewithal. Baka ma-miss a home, baka after 3 months, gusto na mo umuwi. So they have to select. The B League is not necessarily for everybody, but if the PBA wants to keep their players long-term, pension fund, insurance commissioner, I think that would help. And also, they take all those rules. Just everybody who can play, just let them play, man.
Maganda yan, yung pension fund, and of course, all of these things that can add to the benefit. And that's why, I guess, ang tanong doon, Snow, is at the end of the day, kailangan bang bigyan pa ng mas malakas na boses sa mga players sa PBA?
Siguro boss, panahon na siguro, hinihintay lang ng mga manlalaro yan eh. Kasi right now, talagang yung rules are always in favor of the teams of the ball clubs no? So pag sinabi ng management na hindi ka po pwedeng umalis, hindi ka po pwedeng lumipat hangga't hindi ka namin binibigyan ng clearance, no? Hindi sila makakalipat. Magstay naman sila ng matagal sa team, magpakita sila ng kanilang loyalty, bigla silang itinrade at the end of the day, wala rin sila magagawa. And apart from that, ang daming rules na talagang unfair para dun sa mga players. So siguro panahon na para bigyan din ng boses. Yan din yung kulang sa PBA right now Yan din siguro yung isang mga rason kaya yung mga manlalaro nakakahanap ng butas na lumipat sa ibang liga, lilipat sila kasi parang sila hindi walang pagmamahal.
All right. Mukhang naghang si Snow. But again, ito po lahat ay ating pag-uusap, hindi po para bakbakan ng PBA because we love the PBA.
I do.
Dito malaman ng tao is, Homer, of course, that we want the PBA to in fact become better than any other league in the world, and definitely these are points that hindi pinag-uusapan dahil may mga taong ayaw pag-usapan o natatakot pag-usapan, but ito po ay mga punto na gusto nating ipakita na maaring maging daan para gumanda pa ang PBA. Homer, I'm running out of time here. I got Kalei Mau getting ready for my interview.
Oh, I'm a big fan. I'm a big fan of volleyball. Kalei Mau. Woo!
That's why, we'll talk about the NBA very, very soon. And you'll come back on the show. Of course, happy tayo na nakasama natin si Snow Badua. Homer, maraming salamat sa panahon. Yeah, tama. Babalik si Snow. Snow, saludo ko. Salamat. Hindi to huling natin pag-uusap, ha? Dapat maging regular na nagkikwentuhan tayo dito. Dahil maganda at marami tayong napupulot na mga bombang pinapasabog ni Homer at ni Snow.
Salamat po.
Noli Iyala for Senator. Noli Iyala for Senator. Noli Iyala for Senator.
Snow.
Laguna Mayor. Laguna Mayor. First District of Laguna Congressman. Noli Iyala.
Alright, mga kaibigan. Yan po si Snow Badua at si Homer Sayson at ating mga kaibigan lagi niyong sinusundan sa social media. Grabe, ang daming paputok nun na talagang pinawisan ako doon. Alright, mga kaibigan, tuloy-tuloy po tayo. Bago tayo mag-break, let's just go to another stop and pop moment dito po sa Power and Play. Ito po yung mga viral videos sa mundo ng palakasan, and ito pong ating stop and pop na ito, ang ating pong pamagat dito ay, if it's meant, it will be. Panoorin niyo po ito para bang love life talaga yan Pero sa sports, pwede na rin. Kita niyo yung bolang yan, ang layo-layo yung pat na yan Ayan, akala mo papasok na. Uy, ayos na to. Akin na to, papasok yan. Ayaw, naku, hindi Umikot doon sa butas. Parang itong nangyayari sa video natin kung saan mukhang sakto na ang isang pat, papasok na sana, biglang sa last second umiwas pa ang bola at dumiretso pa na napakalayo. Ang bihira, yan pinag-uusapan yan. Again, you think that there is no chance? Think again, because this is our stop and pop moment. Nakakatuwa. Alright, mga kapatid, tuloy-tuloy po tayo sa ating huntahan. And right now, papasok na natin ang ating susunod na panayam. Ito po ang ating panayam sa In the Spotlight. We caught up with one of the top players in volleyball today. Siya po ay naglaro para sa Chocomucho doon sa Asian Women's Club Volleyball Championship sa Thailand. And of course, she is a regular member ng F2 Logistics Cargo Movers. One of the best players na naglalaro para sa ating bansa po ngayon. Kasama natin sa In the Spotlight sa Power and Play, Kalei Mau. Joining us now is no other than Kalei Mau. Good to have you on the show, Lei. Thanks for joining Power and Play.
It's great to be here. Thank you.
It's been a while. You know, the last time we got you on the show, you were just getting ready to play on Philippine shores. You were already starting to get that feel, but now you're a full-blown member of the national team. But before that, I understand you are in quarantine. I saw your IG post, and you just seem like you're battling this daily routine of just staying in your room.
Yeah, I feel like one of my biggest strengths is to make light out of any situation and make the best of everything that I have. So, I mean, definitely it's boring and it's tough mentally to just be here and not have anyone to talk to, but there's a lot of things that I could do to keep myself distracted.
I saw that in your IG post, and it seems like you are getting your hands are full just to try to get yourself going. But of course, today there was an announcement that there will be no longer any quarantine if you're fully vaccinated. and it's strange that you're going to be finishing your quarantine on Friday. But let me just ask you: are you for athletes getting vaccinated? Is that something that you are pushing for? We know a lot of athletes have refused to do that as well.
I'm pro-choice. I don't see why athletes should be pushed. Even employees of jobs, I don't think they should be forced to do anything that they don't want to do. It's their body. But unfortunately, when it came to me being, it required a vaccine for me to play in the last league. So I really didn't even have a time to think about it. My family has their different thoughts about it. So for me, I'm not very political. I'm not very pushy with anything. I'm just, if whatever benefits you, if it's your job, if it's your health, then do what you think is best for you.
Well, you are in quarantine because you just came from the Asian Women's Volleyball Club Championship in Thailand, where you played for Chocomucho. This is, of course, the second time that you are playing for the national team. How did that feel, Kalei, to once again represent the country?
Yeah, no, it's such an indescribable feeling. There's so much pride and power behind that, and being able to confidently play for the country, I think it just upped my game a few levels. The intensity, and like I said, the pride. Playing for the Philippines is different. It's a huge honor. So wanting to just be the best and play my very best was very evident. I woke up every morning and said, I'm not just playing for myself, not playing for my stats. I'm playing for the billions of people in this country, and I hope that I make them proud.
Well, it was a daunting experience, obviously. The tournament was very, very tough as Chocomucho finished sixth in that tournament. Tell us about your experience there and a little bit of your takeaways from, playing in that tournament and being with your teammates in Thailand.
It was an amazing experience, actually. Unfortunately, I didn't get to come to the Philippines and train with them in the bubble, so it was different. It was really tough having to adjust on the first day. I'm an outside hitter and I'm there to score the points. But I hadn't even made a connection with my setters on the team before we stepped on the court. So really, the first time I played with them, it was for a game. It was the first game against Thailand.
Oh my
And
goodness, really?
it
Wow.
was that game I didn't expect much from the girls. I expected a lot from myself. I said, okay, Kalei, you have to adjust. We're getting back into Philippine volleyball style. So, wait for the sets. Wait, it might not be high at one point, but just keep on giving feedback and keep on encouraging the team, because it's kind of intimidating having a new teammate on the court immediately. So I understood that, and I wanted to, and the girls that I've never met and played with before, I just kind of wanted to create a quick relationship before the game, and just told them about myself and told Dina Wong how I like my balls on the net, high, quick, and we made it work. And my experience in Thailand, I don't think it could have been any better.
you know, uh, so you're saying that if you had a little bit more of time to practice with these girls, do you think the team would have played a lot better? In other words, what were the silver linings for you in this particular experience?
Definitely, I think just like anything else, that was a club championship. So any team that has chemistry and that has had time and years of work together, um, that's a winning team. You can't just put the best of the country's players on one side of the court and expect us to beat other teams that's been training and that has chemistry, and some of them are best friends, such as the Thailand national team. They've been training together for years, and so it's really hard to compete with a strong bond and a team with chemistry when I've never even met some of my teammates that I played with on that first day. So definitely, if we got into the gym and we worked and we dedicated next year to building our our team gel, I think it would
Mhm.
be only great things.
It's very interesting what you said a while ago that you have to go back to Philippine volleyball, that kind of style. What's the difference? I know you came from Puerto Rico. You played, of course, in the US and in your collegiate career. What is the main difference, the style that differentiates Philippine volleyball from what you played with in the past?
It would be the defense for me, having to adjust on the defense and playing a little deeper, and playing when I'm in middle back, making sure that I protect the corners, because
Mhm.
smaller hitters and my blockers are a bit smaller. So I have to either adjust to step up to dig a ball or step back to get the tips to the corners and all that, and also blocking. I just came from a
Mhm.
very high level and very tall league in Puerto Rico. So adjusting my block rather than going up and trying to grab the high hitting balls, rather
Right.
rather than adjusting to back to the Asian and Philippine way to just seal the net, not max jump, just go right over and seal and grab. So I kind of was able to adjust quick, and I think my best blocking like games in my career just this past month, because I guess I was ready. I was prepared for that.
Right. Well, looking at that tournament, obviously we did not, get the results that we wanted, and there are obviously so many other adjustments that have to be made. Our Brazilian coach, Coach De Brito, has said that there's a lot to be done physically, tactically, technically, and psychologically. You see, can be improved by as we go along in this national team program. Where do you think should we be focusing on?
Just reps, just playing. I think my teammates haven't been able to play. Some of them haven't played for the past 2 years since March 2020 of the last PSL conference. So I totally understand that lack of movement, lack of the game, and taking some time off can decrease your ability. And I noticed that actually in my F2 teammates that I got to watch on Rubisco and on Chacamucho. I could see that since they hadn't played since then, the rhythm was off. It wasn't them. But of course, they're still great athletes and they're going to get it. It's just, it's muscle memory. You just got to work it out, get back on the court and get that exposure again back to the sport.
A lot of talk has been heard about the creation of the national team pool under the new leadership of the PNBFI. And obviously, a lot of that talk is about some players not being part of that training pool and not even being given a chance to be part of that training pool. What are your thoughts about that? How do you see this national training pool right now? Do you think that this is a program that will help our national team in the future?
Yes, I believe so. I think the best thing that we could possibly do is to prepare for the future and to grow the program. I think the real big difference is that we are investing in the next generation, and that I think is the smartest thing we could possibly do for this country in volleyball, just to grow in the sport and teach these younger girls what it's like to play at an international level. And then from there, the younger generations will follow and then we just become that mecca, this volleyball. Because there are some awesome volleyball players that come out of the Philippines, but not too many. And so I think the goal with PNBF and this new management for the national team program, they're very futuristic minded, just like me. I love that. I love that they are bringing in youth. They're bringing in girls fresh out of college to play against people like Nutsara, to play against Plumjet and those Kazakhstan girls, because they just came from the UAAP. They don't know anything about 6'5" girls, 6-footers. Like it's different, and it's a wake up call. And it's like, whoa, this is volleyball overseas, and this is volleyball representing the country. It's higher level, and I think that is just going to set us up for success.
Now there's a new man in the helm, Lei, and obviously Coach Jorge Souza de Brito. Your thoughts about Coach de Brito right now? What do you think about his style? What do you think about his program, and of course how he relates to the players?
Just from what I've picked up from him, he's such a great guy, and he's very family oriented, which is gonna mesh very well into our culture. He cares genuinely about the girls and their wellness, not just their skills, but also them as people. And I think that's very important. Bringing a different style of play, especially Brazilian style of volleyball. Like I said, this is only setting us up for success. Change is great. A difference maker is what we needed from all the history of Philippine volleyball has kind of gone back and forth through Filipino coaches, and just staying within the comfort zone, and now bringing someone from the outside to teach us a different way, a different technique. I just think that nothing could possibly go wrong with us learning something new.
You have said that you are committed to the national team. What does that mean, Lei? Are you playing in all, or at least most, of the tournaments of the national team?
I plan to play in all of the tournaments of the national team for the upcoming year. I'm really excited. Sir Tat actually shared with me the schedule just so that I can plan around it, just because I am really not sure where I will sign for the remainder of this year. And then I'm looking for a short season, so I've been talking with some teams. Nothing has been finalized. I haven't made a decision yet, but I'm really looking forward to kind of starting off the year already playing in a season, and then joining the national team in May, wherever it is, and then all the way until the end.
So let me get that straight again. Let's talk about your plans. You said that you're still looking for a team. So there was a report, and of course, that has been denied by you in the papers, but let's put it on record and let's put it on tape here. There was a report that you would be playing in Turkey. So what is the latest on your status, Kalei, insofar as your next plans moving forward?
Yeah, that was false. I never quoted that I was going to be playing in Turkey. It was. I mean, I've been open to a lot of offers in other countries just because I I just love experience and I love playing overseas. So just because it's been very uncertain in the Philippines, I've been kind of interested in hearing what other countries and teams have to offer. So really, my next move is going to be playing with F2 in the Champions League in next month. Actually, when I get out of quarantine, I'm already headed down to the bubble to start training with F2. Really excited for that.
All right.
And then afterwards, we'll see.
Well, that's great news for all of the F2 Logistics fans, because obviously, a lot of the local fans in the domestic league is looking forward to seeing you once again. Of course, you did not get to play in the most recent tournament of the PVL, which would have been actually your first stint in the PVL. So, Lei, my question is, what is your thoughts now that most of the teams are in the Premier Volleyball League and we've got all the best players playing there? How exciting is that for you in terms of the domestic volleyball scene?
I'm really excited for it. I mean, I had a blast playing in the PSL. I thought that was pretty. That I think I was biased because I didn't ever get to play in the PVL yet. But I thought that was probably the highest level of volleyball that I could get in the Philippines. And now that we've merged, the leagues merged, I'm really excited to face some, half of the population's favorite players as well in that league. So really just, I love competition. It's the reason why I still play the sport and love it. Really just excited. So I'm hoping if you're watching other teams and you haven't committed to play in the Champions League, please do, you guys. We just want to get better. We just want to have fun and play.
Right. Well, the PVL is supposed to begin in February and play again in October. Does that mean that you might be able to make it in February, or is that out of the picture and you will just commit to you'll be playing in February?
Yeah, so I'm still negotiating with teams for the PVL conference in February, and they're one of the kind of the leagues that I'm thinking about, and really just trying to figure out what's going to be my best fit and what's the best move for me in my career.
Well, I like where you're at right now. You have a lot of options. You got the whole field open for you, and obviously a lot of fans waiting for you. But you were talking about the other half of the best players in volleyball. When you talk about that, who are the players and teams that you're most looking forward to playing? Players that you've not played against, especially since you were playing in the PSL and not in the PBL.
Yeah, I'm really excited to play against Chocomucho because they're. I've gotten to play with Dina. And then, of course, I know Kat Tolentino. Like I would love to play against her in the league, and Creamline. I'm trying to think of all the other. I think Banco Perlas has a bunch of my former teammates. So really excited to face all of them and see what they've been working with. Like. Nice.
It's going to be fun. It's going to be fun. So, just as a little bit of a mental challenge here for you, when you look at all of these players and having played with some of them already, at least those that you did not play with the PSL, you were able to play with them maybe in the national team setup. When you look at that, who is your dream six? Yan po mga kaibigan ang ating panayam kay Kalei Mau. Medyo naubusan tayo ng oras doon. But very, very fun interview, and she has so many thoughts about, of course, volleyball. Very positive, and hopefully talaga makikita natin si Lei in many, many more tournaments for the national team and, of course, sa PVL. Bago po tayo magtapos, gusto ko lang pong basahin ang mga nagpadala ng kanilang mga pulso doon sa ating tanong, sino mananalo sa Game 7? San Miguel ba o Talk and Text? Sabi ni Renato, go TNT. Aba, Sabi naman ni Jimboy Villarin, Magnolia versus TNT para babawi natin noong 2013 final na nag-overtime tapos talo natin yung PMEG. Obviously, TNT fan to. Si Jeric Fernandez naman, SMB, dahil they have a deeper lineup. From Brick Jail Brigoli, SMB. Sabi naman ni Jimboy Ortiz Bakirin, good morning ko. Para sa akin, ang mananalo sa Game 7 ay TNT, Tropang Giga. Si Errol Grimares, sabi niya, TNT will definitely make it this time. Sa Twitter, ang dami nagpadala. Basahin ko lang ilan. Omin Laguardia, San Miguel pa rin po yan. Sabi ni Olek Sili, yun ang kanyang handle. Same story, SMB. Si Badong, sabi niya, TNT ang kume. Magandang finals ang Team MVP versus Team RSA. Sabi ni Patrick, SMB. Hating-hati, no? Si Treblig, SMB. Ang sabi niya, no? So, and then of course, si Boogeyman, sabi niya TNT para mas exciting ang finals. Ako, talagang ang dami na nag-abang. Marami po salamat sa lahat nagbigay ng kanilang opinion sa ating Pulso ng Bayan and of course sa lahat po ng tumutok sa atin ngayong umagang ito. Magsama-sama ulit po tayo next week. Ingat-ingat po tayo. By the way, get well soon kay Carling Santos, ang aking kaibigan. Ingat-ingat po tayo ha. At sa lahat po ng ating gawain, tandaan po lagi natin, ad maiorem Dei gloriam. All for the greater glory of God. Kami po ang 1PH, teleserbisyo para sa Pilipino. Happy Sports Weekend mga kapatid! More power, more play!